Okay, we're recording. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on my channel, Channeling Jesus and Ananda. Today we have the guest Elenora Spanks, and she is Brazilian, right?
Yes.
Originally. Okay. She speaks very good English, though. The reason that we're going to talk to Eleonora today is that she has been involved in translating my books into Portuguese. And this is something I found very fascinating because I really had nothing to do with this side of my books going around to other parts of the world. I sort of handed it over to Jesus and said, if you want to do translations, you figure it out with the people. And lo and behold, he has. Eleonora has brought together, what is it, eight people now?
Oh, now it's 10.
Now
We are
it's 10,
10 now.
10 international.
Bro, bro.
uh, 10 people who are translating the Jesus book into their preferred language. We have Portuguese, we have Greek, we have
German,
French, what else?
Italian,
Italian. So this is such an amazing,
Mandarin.
yeah. This is such an amazing thing for me because obviously I channeled the book and it went to the publisher, and then organically, people who have read it in English have wanted to share it with their non-English speaking either countrymen or family members. So we'll start out with a few questions about how you got into the course, Eleonora, and then we can go into the whole translation experience because it is a fascinating one. How long have you been doing the course?
It's always started in 2017.
Okay.
And it started with a question that I asked to Jesus. I'm very familiar with channeling. In Brazil,
Yeah.
everybody knows about channeling because we had a very important figure. He lived to 92 years old and he wrote more than 400 channel books.
Oh, okay.
He was well known and loved. He did a lot of charity, but he would help people not only with material, but spiritual, mental, emotional, all sorts of things. His name
Hmm.
is Chico Xavier. So
Okay.
it was very familiar. And here in the US, I was watching YouTube and somebody was saying, I channel Saint Germain, Archangel Michael, Mother Teresa, Mother Mary. And the thought came to my mind, why Jesus never came through a channel to give a message to us? When you have a question, your guides just smile and say, she's ready.
Yeah.
Months
Yeah.
later, I started seeing a lot of people claiming that they were channeling Jesus. I said,
Right.
So I listened to one lady, and I think she's really channeling Jesus, but I didn't care much about the message, the focus of the message she was bringing. So I saw you. When I
Okay.
listened to your first video, I couldn't stop. I confess that I became addicted. I listen to your videos every day, and I listen to all the ones that were available on YouTube for about a year. And then I
Okay.
felt I need more. So I found out about community, the community you have in Might Network. So I
Right.
joined,
Yeah.
and
Right.
that
So
was
that was in
amazing.
2020 I started that.
Yes, so I joined to 2018.
Okay.
So I you always talk about the course.
Hmm.
So I was wondering, what's that blue book? I became curious. I want that book. But my husband was Christian, saying, oh, I don't think he'll like to see that book. So I asked a friend to gift me the
Yes.
book with a message. So he
Okay.
could not touch it because of the
Oh,
gift.
it's because it was a present.
Yes, so he gave me the book, she gave me the book, and I started reading. I wasn't have much time, so I already listened to the text about 4 times, and just the same year I started the lessons. I was not being very consistent.
Hmm.
2018, I started more to the end of the year. Now I'm taking serious. So I was
Okay.
doing every day, but on January 1st, I decided I'm gonna restart from the beginning, and this year I'm gonna do it. Every day
Hmm.
you're gonna do it. So
Now, had I done the videos at that point? Were you following along
that's
with
where
the
I
videos?
come. Yes, and then when I decided I woke up, I was very determined to do the lesson. I get my phone and I saw you doing the lessons, and it's what a great gift. I will have company. And
Okay.
then Jesus came as wow, okay. So I was very determined. Every time I would go on a trip with my family, I would take pictures of the book. I would write those sentences in note cards. I managed to do all the 365 lessons until December 31st. I
Awesome.
did it again 20, 2020, 2021. Until November 2021, I was what people say living the dream job, working from home, taking care of my kids, having a good pay. I thought I was settled until they decided that I had to take the remedy for the pandemic or else. So they fired me because I preferred the else.
Right.
And
Good.
in the next,
Good decision.
yeah, in the following day, I started the YouTube channel.
Okay.
And
And what was your YouTube channel about?
the YouTube channel it's called The Awakening Path. And I
Okay.
just wanted to share my experience of about everything that I have learned so far.
Okay.
I have the ability to, I had already read all the books of Dolores Cannon, Love One. There was a lot of information that I was gathering that
Hmm.
when the pandemic hits, I noticed that my mind was not functioning the same way of everybody else. I wasn't in fear. So I
Hmm.
realized there was something there that if people knew, they would get away from fear. And I
Hmm.
literally was writing down in little papers, A Course in Miracles, Tina Louise Spalding videos and books that I already had read most of them, and Dolores Cannon, Abraham Hicks. So those were the names that I write in paper when I would go everywhere. Everybody that will look at me that I could exchange some words. I said, look, those informations are keeping me away from fear. Try
Hmm.
it. Let's see if it works for you. So I
So
was
you give them a list of the books or the names?
just the names. Just
Just
the
the name.
names.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Tina is Spalding, A Course in Miracles, Dolores Cannon, and Abraham Hicks. And I would tell them, well, you'll find the videos, you're gonna find the books, so do your own research. And I was started doing that, and the thought was nagging me, saying, "Okay, create a YouTube channel." I said, "No way! I don't want to be famous. Not think I'll be famous." I said, "I don't want to be famous. I don't have time." No, and I still a student. I don't have enough time to do that.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So, and
So
then
when you hear this voice in your head, is it like just an idea? And because it's always interesting to me, the guidance thing, right? People will ask about the guidance. And I'll say, well, for me, it comes in a repeated feeling to do something. So it sounds, it also can come in the idea of thought where,
yes,
sorry, the idea of thought where you can think a thought. So it happened with me, for example, before I got my dog. I never wanted a dog, didn't like dogs. And I would get this feeling and this thought to get a dog. And I'd be like, no, I'm not getting a dog. I don't want a dog. Then you start realizing that you're like, well, who am I arguing with? Because I think most people think their thoughts are their own. But when we have a spirit guide or teacher working with us, they start to give us messages in the form of thoughts. So is that what was happening to you? The
Oh,
thought
yeah.
of
And the thought comes with my own mind. But I always listen to that guidance. It's always have been very present in my life since I was a child.
Mhm.
So, and I know how to follow because if it's nagging, it doesn't go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just say, I don't have time, and I'm sure a student. So I started to meet people that was very distressed, and I started to talk to them about things that I knew. And then
Mhm.
after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I could see their face changing.
Mhm.
And I realized, okay, maybe I have something to say,
All
but I
right. Okay.
still
So
don't
you
have time.
saw the effect you were having on people.
Yeah, so but I still don't have time. But when I was fired, and then the voice came in, okay, what's your excuse now?
Yeah.
So it was November 8th, November 9th. I created 2 videos and posted, and created a YouTube channel and posted. That was November 9th. And then only 2 weeks before the end of the year, I had another voice nagging me, um, make the lessons in Portuguese online
Okay.
and speak the Jesus commentary in Portuguese.
Oh, so the commentary that I had recorded, they were telling you to do it in
Yes,
Portuguese.
we already had the book, and I had the
Right.
book with me. And
Okay.
that's interesting. I'm not ready for that. I don't have a good computer. I don't have a good camera. But I already knew better when the guidance come just to do with whatever you have.
Yeah.
So I did. The first ones are horrible. The camera is horrible. The background noise is terrible. But I did it.
Yeah.
January 1st, I figured it out everything. I was there. I translated the lessons and do it online. I even
Okay.
got permission for you, and they all gave me. You
I
probably don't remember.
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yes. So in the end of the year, the book was translated.
Right. So that was a year of forgiveness.
Yes, the book was
Yeah.
translated. Okay, so now what I do with that? So I put a message in your community, and somebody suggested talk to Melody, that's the owner of your publisher. So I
Hmm.
did. I talked to her, and she gave me 2 names from publishers, Brazilian publishers that she work with.
Oh, okay.
I called them. I said, we are very busy, very committed. We are not, we can't do it. Okay. So I try others, and my one didn't work out. And so I just put it aside. It's okay. The time will come, I'll let Jesus take care of that. And then another thought nagged me before the end of the year when I was finished. Now doing Spanish. I said, what? Why on earth are you doing Spanish? I will never publish this book in Spanish because I'm not, Spanish is just my third language
Hmm.
to publish a book in Spanish, right? But the thought kept nagging me, it's okay, I will do Jesus, I know what I'm saying. I will do it. You must have a reason for that. So I did in Spanish too. And I think the reason was for me to become more familiar and more confident with the language.
Yep.
Because when you read something through and then you translate and then you become more confident to write and speak. So
Right.
I was kind of a training. And then I still didn't have the publish. I had the book translated and no publish. I put aside until I met you in 2024 over here in Los Angeles on the
Hmm.
Life Expo, Conscious Life Expo. I always switch it out. So I met you and I told you about the book, and you gave me Carlos Lavado's number, name. So I
Name. Yep.
contacted him, and when I was talking to him, he was telling my story. At the same time that you were translating the book, I was translating to Spanish. I said, what a coincidence. There is no coincidence, right?
Hmm.
That's very interesting. And he told me that he sold the translation to to the publisher here, but they just make it available as a book. And people started nagging him, I want the paper. I want the paper. What happened with the
So
paper?
he, yeah, so
Printed
he,
version.
my publisher originally only did an ebook, and that wasn't what people wanted. They wanted the hard copy. Yeah.
Yeah, people always want the hard copy. We do,
Yeah.
right? Me too. So,
Well, we grew up with hard copies. Even if you're young, even if you're 25, you grew up reading books in a hard copy, so it's familiar to us, right?
yes. And right now I listen to a lot of audiobook, but I want the hard copy because they wanted to look it again. I'm not gonna go to listen the whole book or memorize where it was. It's
Hmm.
very
Hmm.
simple. Open the book, you'll find it quick.
Yes,
So
totally.
I was talking to him and he said, well, to cut the story short, they decided to, I asked her for the rights and she told me I could only have if I open a publisher. So here I am opening a publisher. It's great. I was so happy with him and I was talking. I explained to him that I was doing Portuguese and I realized that, oh my goodness, Carlos, would you be willing to publish the Portuguese versions too? Yes, because I already knew that I would be involved in that. He's very intuitive too, so he already knew he would be involved in the Portuguese versions. And he was
Mhm.
asking himself, how? I don't speak Portuguese.
And here you come.
Makes no sense. And I
Yeah.
was how?
Well, it's so interesting for people to listen to this story, right? Because the same thing happened with Carlos. So for people who don't know, Carlos, he wanted to translate the course. He wanted to translate two of my books into Spanish, The Year of Forgiveness and the Jesus book. And just to recap, my publisher said, I won't sell you the rights unless you have a publishing company. So he started a publishing company in Europe. And it's so fascinating to just watch the individual people just getting this feeling, just getting this idea, oh, people need to read this in Spanish or Greek or whatever it is. And how, as long as you just do step by step, because the thing I would say to people, because a lot of people contacted me about the translations, first of all, and I would say, look, I'm not paying you to do the translations. That's not part of my job. But if you do the translation, then you can look for a publisher. Because what had happened originally that gave me this information was Claire, who was doing the Chinese translation, she did the Chinese translation and she found a publisher who would publish it in Chinese. So he bought the rights from my publisher. So this has been going on all around the world, which is so
Yeah.
fascinating to me. And it's each person like you or like Carlos or like Claire get the feeling, they do the translation, and then everything starts to unfold. And I think this is a very good lesson for people. You know, if you're on a spiritual path, you don't know where the next step is going to take you. And you may have the feeling to do something, you think, well, this is crazy. But if you start it, so for example, with me, like when I first did my very first video in 2012, I think 2013, it was, I think 5 people watched it. And all I did was text. I wouldn't video myself because I was too shy.
Uh-huh.
And if you had told me then that I would channel 7 or 8 books and that I would run international retreats and that the book would be translated into all these languages, I would never have believed you. But all I did was each day do the next thing that I was guided to. And this is clearly coming out like when I talk to Carlos too, it's like that's what's happening to you guys. You get the idea. First of all, you think it's stupid that you shouldn't do it, but it comes again. And I think it's so good for people to hear that you don't know how it's going to turn out when you start. It's just that idea, and you think, okay, oh, well, okay, I'll do it. And then everything kind of unfolds from there.
And the ego likes to make excuses.
Well,
I
of
had
course,
at
it's
least
much work.
4 months of nagging to create the YouTube channel. I don't have
Mhm.
time. I'm not ready. I'm still a student. I'm not ready. And
Yeah.
then they show me is no, you are ready. I still don't have time. Okay, and now you have time.
Yeah.
Then I could still say, oh, but I don't have a good equipment. I had a small phone. I was recording on my phone. I
Yeah.
said, just do with whatever is available for you and improve with time.
Start somewhere. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. And
Yes,
like you, when you were doing the translation of the videos into Portuguese, and of course, the Year of Forgiveness is the transcription of the 365 lessons. If you do a little bit every day, by the end of the year, you had a book.
yes,
And I think people forget that if you do something little every day, by 365 days, you've got a book, whether it's
yes.
poetry
A
or art, whatever, right?
Yes. You have a book that's 500 pages, and
Yeah.
then you say, okay, translated this book. Oh,
Like
no, that's just too much for
too
me.
much.
But
Yeah.
and then translate one lesson a day. It's like about maximum 8 pages. Can you translate 8 pages of book a
Right.
day? Yeah, you can.
Hmm. So
So
this is really the biggest effect that A Course in Miracles has had in your life, right? It's sort of started a whole
one
new.
one of them, because there is few layers. I think I like to put in three categories.
Mhm.
But let's move on a little bit to the community that we
Okay.
created. At the same time that after Carlos created the publisher and he invited me to represent US and besides be the Portuguese translator, he the person that got the rights to publish in German and French and Italian, he contacted him.
Mhm.
You inspired me. I'm moving forward with what I'm doing. Thank you so much. And then I interviewed him. His name is Drojan Dransky. He's an amazing person. And then later on, I remember that when I was looking for the publisher, that I put a message in the community, somebody from Greek talked to me. And then I remember him, so I contacted him again. His name is Stefan. So we were already in four,
Mhm.
covering Portuguese, Spanish, German, Italian, French, and Greek. So we had six language with
Mhm.
four people. And then I remember that somebody was doing Chinese, so I contacted her.
Mhm.
And through my network, there is some people from Norway that's also translating, and they are a couple, they a man and a woman, and then people just start coming, and now we are already covering 10 languages. So
Wow.
we need to get together, and we have in my YouTube channel, actually, in my YouTube channel, I'm sorry, there was a private meeting that we had that we interview each one of them. But in my
Mhm.
YouTube channel, I interview each one of them, except for the people from Norway, because they still holding on, are too shy. I'm not saying
Mhm.
no, but I'm not ready yet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you want to get to know more of them, I already interviewed each one of them, their
Okay.
stories there, and it's so similar. It's very
Yeah.
similar.
Well, we'll put the connect to your YouTube channel in the description box so people can go and watch those interviews or anything else that they're curious about with your work. We'll put that below when I do the put the video up on YouTube.
And
So this
ever
so you
great,
were inspired to get all the translators together, not just to translate
actually,
yourself.
yes, actually was Carlos' idea, but he's
Okay.
very busy too. So he asked me to be on front of, so I
Mhm.
connected everybody.
Okay. That's amazing. It's really amazing. And also just the other part of it that I just want to kind of bring up is this idea that it wasn't my job to do all of the translation and do all of that. It was very clear to me that that wasn't my job. And so I would just say no. If someone said, I want to translate, will you hire me? And I say, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, mostly because when people were asking me, I didn't have any money to hire people,
Mhm.
right? I was just writing and the books were coming out and my YouTube channel was getting more and more popular, but I didn't have the funds to hire someone to translate a book. So it's also good to know what's not your job, right? There's the knowing what's your job and then the knowing what's not your job. But very, very early on in my interaction with Jesus and Ananda, they told me not to worry about marketing. They said, that's our job. We'll do that. So I've never spent
They're
any money.
very good on that.
Pardon?
They're very good on that. They're very good on convincing people.
They are very good at convincing people. Okay, is there anything else you want to say about the community? And then I'll just get,
Yes, especially the Mind Network, the Mind Sherpa books. They are the publisher that I work with, Carlos, and
Mhm,
the translators also. Everybody involved on the publisher and all the translator. We are all students of A Course in Miracles.
mhm.
So you
Amazing.
can see that everybody is in the same vibration.
Mhm,
For me, it was clear that we need a publisher that was in alignment with that vibration to publish those books.
yeah.
For example, Drajan, he had his own publisher to publish his music, and he decided to convert to publish the books too. So it's all his energy, everybody that's around him is people that he attracts. And Claire, she already found a publisher also, and we all getting to come together in a way that we know that we are guided by Jesus and Ananda and all our personal guides. And we
Mhm,
just really need to do one step of the time. We translate the book, don't worry about publishing yet. When the times come, we worry about.
yeah.
And
Yeah, one step at a
it's
time.
a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
It is amazing. And people think because we have this sort of work ethic training in the West where you've got to push, 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 push. The course teaches you to listen to guidance and to follow that. And it actually can go quite quickly, even though you're not pushing, 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 you're actually just listening to guidance. Because, like in the course, Jesus says, I'll remove all of the blocks that are in your way. And I think for people who are listening to this, who maybe, yeah, maybe they're in a job they don't like, or maybe they're looking at their life and it's not looking the way they want. They might not look at the course and think, well, that would be the solution. But in actual fact, when you do the course lessons and you start practicing it, Jesus removes the blocks that not only in your own mind, of course, because that's where they are, but it seems to remove the blocks in the physical world. Doors will open to you that weren't open before, or you'll meet someone, or you'll get someone's name. Like I gave you Carlos's name, and it's just like boom, 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 and doors are
Yeah.
opening, and it can move quite quickly, actually. And I would say I don't know if you agree with this, but I would say for anyone, if you really want your life to improve, don't try and change it on the outside. Do the Course in Miracles. Change your mind on the inside, and the outside has to reflect that change.
Yes, I really, really learn about that. And that's what I try to put in a very simple way on my YouTube channel. But
Hmm.
before we change the subject, I just want to tell everyone that the first book, A Year of Forgiveness, that we call Ano de Perdão, vai estar disponível. I'm sorry, I'm switching to Portuguese. It will be available in Brazil, all over the world, at least the ebook, in about a month.
Oh my goodness, wonderful.
And the second one, Jesus, my biography, Jesus, minha autobiografia, will be available in about 2 months. The translation is complete, is being corrected right now. So we are in a project to publish about 4 books until January next year.
Amazing. And so Brazil is the country that has the most Portuguese speakers, right?
Yes, yes, but we
Okay.
also have Portuguese, I think, is the sixth language most spoken in the world.
In the world. Oh, okay.
Yes. So to do the marketing of the book, I'm getting in contact with people from Brazil, from
Hmm.
Portugal, and from Africa because we
Oh,
want the
there's
book to
Portuguese
reach
colonies.
everyone speaks English. We would like people to know that this information is available for them in Portuguese.
Well, that's exciting for you, seeing your work now traveling around the world. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it's really amazing.
And you thought you didn't have the time.
Well, when they invited me, I kind of got the time. I still got very busy, but and then I got the time. And everything I do in three languages, English, Portuguese, and Spanish.
Right. Amazing.
So my
Amazing.
YouTube channel and my work with the publisher, everything in three languages.
Okay.
And you asked me before, what's the big impact of the Course in Miracles in my life?
Mhm. Mhm.
For me personally, I would say it took away the last layer of fear that I was holding still. There was many people was afraid of death. I think that's the number one fear in everyone, not human being. I wasn't already fearing from my life, but right now I don't even fear from the death even of my loved ones. Not
Mhm.
because I don't love them and don't care, it's because the knowledge that I have give me comfort knowing that first, no one leave this planet without the soul agreement. Everything is always happen for their one good. And what is their one good? Their purpose is spiritual evolution.
Mhm.
Here is just a detour. It's just
The
a
deal.
play. It's just a trip. You can come many times. And there is no separation. When they die, they are not really dying. They are more alive than ever.
Mhm.
So for me, that was one of the biggest lesson that contribution personally for myself,
Mhm.
and really get to understand how things really work, how we manifest what happened in our life, and I realize, wow, I'm really the one, as not really myself, but when I'm in alignment with love and with what it is,
Mhm.
there is nothing outside of me that can hurt me.
Mhm.
And getting that really gives you a power that's very interesting. And that's the true happiness because it gives you peace.
Yes, it gives you peace. And I think too, when you look at how all of the media is always constantly pushing war and fear and death and disease. I mean, it really started up big time in 2020, obviously. And it was very clear for anyone that had done the course lessons, because we're training our minds towards love and not fear. When 2020 hit, those of us, we were not at the frequency of fear, so we didn't align with it. But if you'd only been watching television and you'd had, the fires and the environmental disaster and this and that, you were at the frequency of fear. And so the fear messaging could get you. Whereas what I've been seeing with my Course in Miracles, or the people I know who do a course, is that if you'd started the course, you already were up here and the fear messaging, it couldn't reach you. And
Yeah.
that was why people were able to say no to the medicine, because they weren't afraid. And so I think for people who are either contemplating doing the course, or they're just like, what is this Course in Miracles thing? I'll just go quickly and tell you, Course in Miracles is a channel text, and it's the true teachings of Jesus without the interference of the church or society's conditioning. It's really about unconditional love and forgiveness as the practice. So if you had to talk someone into doing the course, what would you say to them? Why should they do it? Why should they do the course?
Oh, I usually say this way. Well, the Course in Miracles, you take the programming of your mind from fear to love through the
Mhm,
practice of forgiveness. And then depend on the person that I'm talking to, and then I go in details in a language that they can understand.
mhm.
And sometimes I have gifted at least about 200 books in all three languages. Since I do everything in three languages, I give in all three languages too. And they just say, oh, you don't have time. Okay, listen to the audiobook. Try the lessons. You don't have to understand. Be consistent. 7 days, I guarantee you, you're gonna see some difference for good.
Just in 7 days. I know often Jesus will recommend doing it for 30 or 60 days without arguing. He says, do it for 30 days, no arguing, just do as you're told, just do the lessons, and you will have such a transformation that you'll finish them. Which is very quick when you think about it, 30 days. Or in your case, you're saying do it for 7 days.
Oh, the intention is 30 days, but if you say 7 days, they will not even start. Oh, let me wait until I have 7 days and 30 days. But if you
Hmm.
do seven, and then they know there is an effect, so they will get curious and then they'll go to 30 days.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, well, what else is there anything? Oh, you're a Reiki practitioner. So would you like to just briefly talk about, you had mentioned the combination of Reiki
Yeah.
and the quartz.
One thing that the course will give you is it will connect you with your true essence. And the essence of all human being is love, and we are a multidimensional beings. So everyone has the ability to become what I say, psychic. Psychic is just the ability to connect, interact with the other dimensions.
Hmm.
So it's very common that when you do the lessons diligently, you're gonna remove all those layers that are really hiding from you your true essence, and you get your gifts will just you're gonna realize that you already had those gifts.
Hmm.
So in my case was the healing and also
Hmm.
channeling.
Okay.
I can hear with my own voice. Sometimes I see visions. The visions I don't have any intentions, they just come.
Hmm.
Sometimes I receive downloads, and like, it's just that I know things that I didn't know before. And I can also channel through automatic writing, where I put the intention to connect to someone. And about the Reiki, it started, I just wanted to help my auntie that was dying with cancer. I
Okay.
went to Brazil to visit her. She was dying with cancer. It was very painful. And said,
Hmm.
no, I can help her with Reiki. So I came back in about 3 weeks. I was already in the level 2 because I already had the knowledge and I already had the energy with me. I just had to be initiated. So I started sending Reiki to her. And from there, I started developing my technique, and I combined the channeling to really help people not only to heal, but also shift their perception, because many of those healing modalities, alternative healing modalities, they'll go really on the root of the problem, and they will heal you from the root, but you create all the time in the present moment. If you
Right.
don't shift your thoughts, your energy, your perception, you're gonna you're gonna create something similar.
Hmm.
So that's when the channel really comes through. During the sessions, I connect with the higher self of the people. And
Hmm.
I also, sometimes if they are open, I channel a message from their higher self. if they are having a specific problem, for example, there was a lady that has a problem in her knee, and all diseases, I realize they have two aspects to look into. One is the physical material, and
Hmm.
the other one is the energetic one. That's how I call. For example, say, oh, that pain started because I was doing something and I twisted wrongly and I
Yeah.
felt a sharp pain. That's how it started. That's the material, physical reason. It's okay, but
Hmm.
why that happened? That happened because it happens exactly the time that she had to give away the alimony that her ex-husband was giving to her.
Oh, so she had some financial loss. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she had to give up on the alimony because he was driving her crazy. And what the message from her knee was, you were programmed to think that you needed somebody outside of you to support you. When you were a child or before you got married, it was your parents, your father.
Hmm.
After
Hmm.
you got married, it was your husband. Now you don't have none of them. But what I want to tell you is you manifest your parents to take care of you. And then you manifest your husband
To
to
take
take
care of you.
care of you. So
Hmm.
always been your one thoughts who was doing the work, the base work. Now the only thing you have to do is manifest you to take care of you. So the message come not only with why, but also give a positive message, how giving some direction on how to resolve.
So if somebody's interested in talking to you about healing session, you have an email that we can put down that people can contact you.
Yes. Actually, I
Oh,
have a beautiful website. It's called
okay.
theawakeningpath.me, M-E.
Okay.
Okay.
Theawakeningpath.me. Okay.
Yes, and actually I even give some pre-recorded sessions for free that I recorded in a way that it will work with anyone that are gonna listen with the intention to get healing.
Okay. Okay. That's awesome. That's
Experience
awesome.
for free first, and then if they wanna more
Yeah.
profound, deep healing, and then they can try a private session or a group session.
Okay. Awesome. Well, it's so interesting that you got fired from your conventional job, and here you've created a whole new career in just a few years. And I think that's one of the inspiring things about all this is, I think the way the world is going, it's much more empowering to create your own work because you can't fire well you can't get fired by someone else. I would jokingly say I would fire myself semi-regularly, but then I'd rehire myself the next day. But it's really, I mean, you must find that it's really amazing to have this your own career with the things you love and you believe in 100%. It's a great way to live, isn't it?
It is because you only need to get motivation from inside yourself.
Yeah.
And another thing that the Course in Miracles give you is the knowing that you are 100% supported. You are
Yes.
not alone. There is like an big group in the other side supporting every step. The only
Hmm.
thing you need is to at least get closer to the vibration of hear them.
Yeah.
And
But
then
that's what it teaches you how to do. That's what the
the
lessons
miracle
are teaching
happens.
you, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
the course gives you the recipe for raising your frequency, and it's an incredible journey. And well, thank you for sharing your
I
journey.
would
Is there
like
anything
just to
else
share
you'd like?
one thing.
Yep.
The biggest lesson that the Course in Miracles gave me was to give away judgment.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I had another idea about judgment. Judgment for me was just when you were speaking something bad about somebody. It's like purposely, like gossipy, I knew was bad, or bashing people, things like that. But something innocent like, how weather's terrible today. I thought that it
Mm-hmm.
was of no consequence,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
it is. Because every time you go in the judgment is blame and guilt. And guess what's the vibration of that is 30.
Mm-hmm.
The vibrational frequency of judgment is 30. While you want to be in love, that's 500. That's a long way.
Oh, on a measuring scale, you're saying love is 500 and guilt is 30.
Yes,
Mm.
so judgment is the worst weapon that you can use against yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter how big is the judgment, can be as simple as blame the weather, judge the weather.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and when you do the lessons, I know this is something that I was not aware of before I did the lessons. I probably wouldn't have seen myself as a particularly judgmental person, but once I started doing the interior training of the lessons, I was like, oh my God, I'm judging all the time. I'm judging the eggs are too expensive. I'm judging the weather's bad. I'm judging that person shouldn't wear those trousers. I'm judging that person. It was constant and I didn't realize it. You just actually don't know what's going on inside your mind, you know?
I
I
had
don't know.
I did an exercise exactly like you were saying. I went to a garden over here with my family, and I said, today I'm gonna pay attention to my ego. I'm not gonna let it judge anything. So I was just paying attention. A girl was passing by. She was a little bit overweight, and automatically, oh,
Mhm,
no, that body that she's having right now is the best one that she can have to help her in her evolution, her whatever she has to learn right now.
mhm.
So, and then there was another one that the clothes was too tight or too short. No, that's how she feel good about.
Yes.
Oh, it's not your business.
Yeah,
So
it's none of our business.
I was on point as everything, but I could see how quick.
Yeah, it's almost it feels instantaneous. Yeah.
Yes, but that day I was determined. I'm gonna catch you. But that is very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. And it still happens to me, but because of the training of the course, I can stop it within a second or turn it around with, usually what happens is if I judge something or someone, I'll kind of turn it around and then just go, no, God loves this person as much as they love anybody. The ego wants to separate and make people lower or much higher too. It wants to worship people too, celebrities or whatever. But the training of the course lessons is what allows you to master your own mind. And then you have this conscious ability to steer your mind where you want it to go. So you're not, so the idea is that most people are creating unconsciously. They're not aware of what they're creating or miscreating. And what the course teaches us to do is to create consciously so that we're not accidentally making bad things happen, because when you see something, for example, like that lady with the knee injury or heart disease or anything like that, it's years and years and years of having the same negative thoughts, which is contaminating the body because the body is manufactured from your consciousness. That's what's keeping the body going. And if your consciousness has a super negative aspect to it, that's going to manifest in the body. So it's all connected. The mind training, the shifting your frequency, the healing of the body. These are all, it's such a fascinating world that the Course in Miracles opens the door to this world. So if you're curious about healing, curious about changing your career, start the course. You can go along with my lessons on YouTube. There's 365 lessons. Do the lessons in the book each day and your life will change. Right, Eleonora? It'll change.
Really, really change and for better because it's
Yes.
important to say it will change for better. Even though sometimes, for example, it's very interesting how we were really made to be in peace and love.
Hmm.
And I have been constantly in this state most of the time. And something happened in my personal life that I don't need to give much detail. But I was feeling that horrible feeling in my stomach for 2 days. I knew what it was, but I was having a hard time to get around because I couldn't understand some elements.
Hmm.
Thanks God I had a friend that I just shared with her, and she just put me in another perspective, another way to see.
Hmm.
And my feeling was because I was judging somebody, I already knew I shouldn't judge, but I just couldn't understand. I just couldn't
Hmm.
understand. And sometimes you just need to understand. And she gave me another perspective. And what the cards say is there is only love. Everything that people does, that human beings does, or is an expression of love or asking for love.
Hmm. That's it. It's very simple.
And
Yeah.
a person that is acting, let's say, in the opposite of love is because somehow their soul is so hurt that they become empathic
Hmm.
to kind of shield themselves.
Hmm. Yeah. The call
And
for
that behave is actually a call for love.
Call for love, yeah. It's a very evolved practice, A Course in Miracles. For some, I know I have people I know, and they're like, we can't just give people what they want when they're badly behaved. It sort of comes across that way. But through the practice of A Course in Miracles, you're trained into how to do this, and you don't know how to do it at first. And often you only have to do it in your mind. You actually don't have to physically do something. You can
Yeah.
just stop the judgment in your mind, and that will help heal yourself and the other person involved. So, anyway,
Yes,
well,
and the feeling went away. The
yeah,
feeling really went away.
it
I
went
can
away,
see
but
that.
that's because you stopped judging.
Yes.
And that's the thing. In closing, most people think they feel bad because of what the other person is doing. Actually, we feel bad because we're judging them for what they're
It
doing.
was very
And as
clear for
soon as
me.
we stop judging them, we get our peace back. And it looks like it's their fault, but in actual fact, it's what we're doing with our own judgment. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Eleanor, thank you so much. We'll put that contact information in the description box below, and we will pass the Course in Miracles translator message out into the world. And thank you so much. Thank you for translating my book into these amazing languages. And good work is being done.
Thank you for having me. And is I just love you.
Oh,
And I
thank
love to be here sharing this information with you. And I know we could speak forever. Thank you,
you.
everyone that's watched. And let's just do it together, changing
Yeah,
our one mind first. And that's how we influence the rest of the world.
yeah. It's what the world needs now. It's the Course is the solution to all of these awful problems we see out there. Okay, thank you so much. I'll talk to you again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.